Hey, what's up, guys? It's Russo and Jordy with Backdoor Fantasy Sports, and we've got another prize picks video for you. We are going to be talking about the December 17th NFL slate on Sunday. We have some exciting matchups left still. It was actually a pretty fun Saturday to have the three football games. I thought all three games were kind of entertaining in their own way, even though we didn't get to hit on everything we were hoping for. It was just like a fun day, fun weekend having basketball and football on. We had some good UFC. So we had a good time ultimately, even though we didn't get the sweep we were looking for. But before we get into our picks for Sunday, if you've never tried Prize Picks, use our promo code at the bottom of the screen and they will double your first deposit up to $100. They're just going to match whatever you put on. So if you put on 50, you'll get 100 to play with. If you put on the full 100, you'll get 200 to play with. That's what I recommend. Might as well just go for all of it. But yeah, if you use our code, they'll hook you up with that deal. And if you're new to our channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. We run several different types of shows. We're on the weekends, so we don't have our daily show going right now, but we're going to be getting back after it on Monday with our daily show. So yeah, make sure you're subscribed and we will notify you, or YouTube will notify you as soon as we drop our videos. All right, so we're going to jump into our recap from the Saturday slate real fast. Let's see here. So I had taken the Michael Pittman receptions prop for over 7, and he was well on his way. He was playing great, and then he suffered like a cheap hit, unfortunately. The defender was ejected from the game, and Pittman was ruled out with a concussion. And it's a bummer because I actually, in a separate lineup, I had taken his Demon receiving yards play because I was like, I think Pittman can go for at least 100 yards. So I'm feeling good about this, and it like jacked up my my multiplier, and I was like, this is going to be great. And he's killing it first half. And yeah, he ended up not coming back to the game, unfortunately. So we did get the reboot, but reboots are nice, but they're not, you want to cash, especially when your guy is on his way. So that was unfortunate. And then my other play was Russell Wilson for over 5.5 rushing attempts. This is a pretty easy one right now until they move that line. It's like the odds makers don't realize what he's been doing for the last 5 weeks, utilizing his legs. So that cash for us pretty easy. Unfortunately, Connor Hayward, we talked about it. It was a little bit of a dart throw. But I mean, if he would have had one catch, that would have cashed that 3.5 receiving yards for us. But we talked about it. We knew what this was going in, and he ended up getting 0 snaps, so he didn't even get to play. So that's unfortunate. I thought they would just give him he cashed it last week, but yeah, unfortunately he didn't get any snaps. So we ended up getting a reboot. We cashed on Russell, and then we missed on Hayward. What about you, Jordy?
Yeah. So for me, I took Joe Mixon. This was my favorite play that I had picked out. I took Joe Mixon for over his rush attempts. The Bengals just did not play well. Jamar Chase got banged up, and then they just had no passing game working for them. So they kind of involved Mixon a little bit in the passing game more than I was expecting. I mean, he only had 3 receptions, but the backup running back got quite a bit of snaps too, and they just weren't in the lead. And when you're not in the lead, you can't really run the ball like you want to. So it was just unfortunate circumstances. We took him for over 14.5, and he went for 10. He only had 3 carries in the first quarter, or in the first half, though. I don't know what their plan is there. He was averaging 4.8 yards a carry in the first half, so I don't know why. I mean, the math adds up. 2 carries gets you a first down. I'm not the coach. I can't say. So that was a little frustrating to watch. And then we took TJ Hawkinson for over 53.5 yards. Everyone was telling me they were out on this play, and he hit. I don't know. TJ Hawkinson gets so much disrespect for how good he is. He got this on, I think, 5 receptions. So, liked that one. That one hit for us. He had 63. Jahmyr Gibbs, I took him for over 26.5 rushing yards or receiving yards. And he had 8. He did everything else but receiving the ball. It was a big game for him on the ground. He went for 100 yards rushing. And he only had 2 targets, and he caught both for only 8 yards. So usually he gets like 5 receptions a game, at least like 6 targets. So just an unpredictable day. I mean, I guess, on like a Saturday slate, these guys were just not playing how they usually play, and it might have just been a weird game for them. But I don't know. Things happen. We're just gonna move on from it. But
Yeah, we're still pumped about Sunday.
yeah.
And I think some of that Gibbs situation was game script because the Lions got out to a lead so early in that game. But yeah, it happens sometimes, and we're excited to get into this slate. Before we get into our picks, if you're a fan of the show, if you appreciate what we're doing, if you don't mind throwing us a like, it just really helps us as we're trying to grow our channel, helps us get into the algorithm. We appreciate you guys. That's all we're going to say about that. But just want to throw that out there. I know you guys already do such a good job of it, but just throwing that out there, we would really appreciate it. All right, so for this slate, I'm going with my gut a little bit here. I'm going with 2 fantasy score props, and I feel good about both of them, obviously, or else they wouldn't be on the show. But my first is going to be one of my favorite rookies, and that's going to be Jaden Reed. We've gone to him a lot, and we've talked about him a lot. But this guy's amazing. I'd mentioned it before. I drafted him everywhere I could in fantasy football. I'm so happy in our big dynasty league. I was able to snag him, and it's just fun when you catch a rookie coming into the NFL and you feel really good about them, and then they pan out, especially their rookie year. So I've been having a blast, and I need this guy to go big for me in the fantasy playoffs. Little update there. I'm doing okay in my first round of playoffs. I have Jordan Addison, so he really gave me a great start to the week. But I expect Jaden Reed to do great things again too. When we've talked about him in the past, my comparison is he's utilized like Deebo Samuel. This guy gets multiple rushing attempts every game. He's heavily targeted now, and it doesn't matter if Christian Watson's in there. It doesn't matter if Romeo Doubs is in there. They love him, and he's going to be a big part of their future. We're going to take him for more. Let's look at the over-under on this game real fast. Where are we at here? Okay, this is going to be a fun one. So we got a 42.5 over-under. Should be a fun, pretty high-scoring game with the Packers favored by just 3.5, and should be close. Both of these teams are playing above expectations, I think. Green Bay's been a lot of fun to watch this year, and Baker Mayfield's been doing okay out in Tampa Bay. So if we look at what Reed's been doing over his last 5 games, he's averaging 5 receptions a game. So when you have prize picks with the full PPR, that means every single reception counts for a full point. So if he hits his average, that's 5 points right there. If we look at what he's averaging on receiving yards over those 5 games that he's been averaging the 5 receptions, he's averaging 41.4 yards. Now that's going to give us just about that. We're getting close here on the fantasy score already. But he's also averaging over his last 5 games. Let's see, where's his? Oh yeah. So his rush attempts, he's getting about 2 rush attempts per game. In his last game, he ended up going for where are we at here? Yeah. So in his last game, he ended up going for 4 rush attempts for 38 yards, and he grabbed a touchdown. So they utilize him kind of as a running back in goal line situations. They have him punch it in a lot. So with all of these indicators, I feel really good about his odds to go over. If he gets a touchdown, this is absolutely going to cash. And I think he will, but he can get there even without it. And if we look at what the Buccaneers are allowing to wide receivers, on average, they're allowing hefty 21 targets for 13.69 receptions per game, and wide receivers are turning that into 193 yards per game. So when you've got what's considered to be like probably their top pass catching option, who's sort of their gadget player, the Swiss Army knife style, like Deebo, I think that this is just painting out a good picture here as far as the narrative goes. Now, I said I'd be kind of going on my own here, because if we hop over to Daily Grind and we look at what the odds makers are saying, it's a little confusing because a lot of these odds makers have the line set for fantasy score at like in the 11 range, and Prize Picks has it at 12. So it creates a little bit of confusion. Even with the odds makers having it at that, like in that 11 range, and they're favoring the under. it's still right in that 50-50 shot. And so even with the me kind of going against the grain here, I feel really good about it just because I've been watching what he's been doing, and I think this is a great matchup. And again, if we look at what he's been getting it done. So this, I think, with the fantasy score projections, sometimes the odds makers aren't really the best route to, like we just use it to confirm narratives anyways that we're feeling. But in this case, I'm going to go against the grain. I've been feeling really good about him. It's kind of like the news just hasn't made it over to them yet that this guy's a stud. So I'm feeling good about that for my first pick. And then my next fantasy score option is going to be David Njoku. He's been getting this done a lot too. And even with the sort of quarterback carousel that he's been dealing with, he was still hitting this. He was going over this line. And then you've got Joe Flacco here. And Joe Flacco, I hope this continues. It was so awesome to see like a competent quarterback who has a lot of tricks up his sleeve, who, a lot of these young rookies and backup quarterbacks just don't have in their bag. So it was awesome. And I mean, honestly, Joe Flacco came out and had them looking better than Deshaun Watson did. Njoku went for 27 points, 27 fantasy score in his last game. I think he can get at least 10. So I'm going to take more here. And let's look at this over under. So we have a 37.5 over under with the Browns favored by 3 points. Now the Bears are a good defense, but I still feel confident taking this. If we look at Njoku over his last 5 games, he's also averaging just over 5 receptions a game on almost 10 targets. So about 9.5 targets a game. That's awesome for a tight end, averaging 56 yards a game, just over. So if he hits his average targets, if he hits his average receptions and his average yardage, that's cashing us right there with full point PPR. If he gets a touchdown, like his last game, he got 2. If he gets a touchdown, this is for sure going to cash. So I'm feeling really good about this play. I am kind of bummed I don't have him in fantasy football. Unfortunately, I drafted him in some redraft leagues, and I jumped ship early in the year, and I wish I wouldn't have now. But if we take a look at what the Bears are allowing to tight ends on average, about 7.5 targets, converting that into just under 6 receptions per game for about 46 yards, 46 receiving yards. So if he hits his average and they allow their average, this is going to be an easy cash for us. I'm not even going to jump into the odds makers over on Daily Grind for this one, just for the sake of time, because it's a similar situation. When you're dealing with fantasy score, it just kind of skews the odds a little bit there. But yeah, these are the 2 I'm rolling with. I feel really good about them. I'll be playing these in multiple slips. So what do you got for us, Jordy?
Yeah, I was looking at that and I'm like, who did the Bears let rush tight end wise on them? And I realized it was Taysom Hill. He was running all over them that one game. So to get me started here, I'm gonna be going with, let's see, I got a receiving yards prop to get us started off here today. I'm going to go right back to my man Ezekiel Elliott on this one. Obviously, this isn't just fandom. This is a really good pick. Ramondre Stevenson is still out, along with like 2 of their other receivers. Juju Smith is probably not going to play, and neither is Tyquan Thornton. So they're going to need some help in the receiving game. And I'm telling you guys, Zeke is a great pass catcher. That was one of his perks coming out of college. When he was with the Buckeyes, he was a great pass catcher. He caught like 6 balls a game. And I think he averaged like a perfect reception rating through all of college. But he's doing well in the NFL too. And, with the Patriots, they're getting him heavily involved in the passing game. That was what they brought him there to do. And now that he's got a bulk of the work, I mean, you can see since Ramondre's gone out, he hasn't even come close to going under this. And let's see here. If we look at his last couple games here, he's gone for 40 in the one game. He went for 30. I have 2 pulled up. It's really 3 because Ramondre went out in this game. But if we look at his receiving here, he's averaging 5 targets on 4.3 receptions. And in the game Ramondre went out in, he went for, let's see if this thing will let me do it. Okay, so yeah, he went out against the Chargers. So he went out and he had 40 receiving yards in that game. And then when he had the bulk of the work against Pittsburgh, who's a pretty good defense against running backs, he had 72 on 8 targets for 7 receptions. So I think he's going to get at least 5 targets in this next game. He's projected for 6. But I think he can easily get this for us. I think this line's pretty ridiculously low and it might get removed. So I would take this and or bumped really high. But yeah, no Ramondre again, so feeling really good about this one. On the daily grind over here, it's a minus 135. MGM has it at a minus 115. I'm not sure why, or if they've even just gotten around to the pick yet. But everyone else has it juiced, so I feel pretty good about it. And then for my next one here, I'm going with a receptions prop, and I'm going to go with Dalton Kincaid. Now, I know he's going against Dallas, and they're very tough, but the hole in their defense that a lot of people are exploiting this year is the tight end slot. It's not a big hole, but it's one that we can capitalize on. It sounded weird, but he's going for 5.5 targets and 4 receptions. So, that's what they're giving up to tight ends this year on 42 receiving yards. So we're looking at the receptions here, and I think he'll get this done. He's averaged 5, and he's averaging 6.2 over the last 7 games. And he's gone over this in 7 out of his last 7 and 7 out of the last 10. This is a minus 125. If we look over here on the daily grind, it's a minus 125 across the board. Caesars has it at minus 127. Vandal has it at a minus 146. Their lines are always kind of crazy. But if we look at his last 10 games, he's been killing this. He's averaging 6.5 targets. He's the second most targeted receiver on the team since he's been kind of taking over the tight end spot, and he's averaging 5.2 receptions. So he's only gone under this in a couple games, and so he's gone under it 3 times over the last 10 games. So pretty good odds there. Over the last 7, he's just been nailing it every time. So I think in a game like this, where I'm expecting them to be down with how good the Cowboys have been playing, they're going to be throwing the ball a lot. So I like Kincaid to go over 4.5 in this matchup. And that's what I got.
Yeah, I mean, I love that Zeke play. He's looking like vintage Zeke. And the Patriots just don't have much to be excited about right now as far as offensive weapons go. And when you've got someone who can actually deliver for you, I think that I don't know why those lines are staying so low right now, but I'm excited about all these plays. I'll be making a slip with these. I'll be mixing and matching these into different slips. So that's what we're rolling with for Sunday, guys. We hope you have a great Sunday. If you're interested in checking out the tool, the DFS tool that we use to check odds, the Daily Grind, they're one of our partners now, so they're hooking up our viewers with 25% off. If you use promo code BACKDOOR, just one word, upon checkout, they'll give you 25% off your first month. And there's a link in the description of the video if you're interested in checking out that tool. It's been awesome for us. So that's going to do it, guys. We hope you have an awesome Sunday, and we will catch you in the next video.
Good luck, guys.